Hey everyone, Fit Historian here, back on Historical Gaming, and no, we're not digging into ancient empires or medieval battle tactics today. We're doing something arguably messier, internet discourse. We're talking cancel culture. Yeah, that thing everyone loves to hate or hates to love, depending on the week and the platform and who got called out most recently. James Charles, Shane Dawson, Jeffree Star, Cody Ko. Cancel culture has become the ultimate buzzword for everything from legitimate accountability to full-blown internet witch hunts. So let's do what we do best. Let's take a step back, sip some overpriced coffee, and ask, what even is cancel culture? Where did it come from? And what does it say about how we interact online? Cancel culture isn't just a phrase, it's a whole vibe. For some, it's about calling people out, demanding justice, and refusing to let harmful behavior slide. For others, it's basically a digital guillotine. One wrong tweet, and you're exiled from the internet forever. Even the dictionary's trying to keep up. Merriam-Webster calls it the mass withdrawal of support from public figures or celebrities who've done something unacceptable. Basically, you mess up, people stop buying your merch, watching your videos, and following you on social media. And if you're a YouTuber, that monetization drop hits hard. But public shaming? Oh, that's nothing new. In fact, it's ancient. Scarlet letters, medieval stocks, tarring and feathering. Society has always had receipts. We just didn't have Twitter back then. Boycotting? That's old too. The term came from Captain Charles Boycott in 1880s Ireland, and it later became a key strategy in the US civil rights movement. The methods have changed, but the impulse to collectively call someone out, well, that's humanity 101. So, where did this modern use of cancel actually start? The short version? Black culture and hip hop. The phrase pops up in Chic's 1981 song Your Love Is Cancelled, and then gets shouted in New Jack City in 1991 with the unforgettable line, "Cancel that bitch." Yes, really. Later on, artists like 50 Cent and Lil Wayne picked it up, using cancel as a kind of status revoker, like saying someone's no longer relevant, no longer respected. But the big shift, that happened on Twitter, Black Twitter to be exact, after 2014 episode of Love and Hip Hop New York, where a cast member says, "You're canceled," the internet ran with it. At first it was ironic, funny, a meme, and then it started to stick. Here's the kicker though. What began as a culturally specific, often humorous way of signaling disapproval got co-opted, stripped of its tone, context, and nuance. Once mainstream media and political commentators got a hold of it, cancel culture became something else entirely, something weaponized. Suddenly, it wasn't about jokingly saying you're canceled to your friend for wearing socks with sandals.
Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, what is that?
It became the front line of the culture wars. And here's where the YouTube chaos comes in. The internet didn't invent canceling, but it definitely gave it steroids. Think back to 2019, aka the beauty community civil war. James Charles loses millions of subscribers in a week. Shane Dawson gets demonetized and dragged across TikTok. Jeffree Star? Somehow always involved, always unbothered. That wasn't just drama, it was internet infrastructure at work. Callouts on Twitter, exposés on YouTube, Reddit threads unraveling everything like a true crime podcast. The sheer speed and reach of these platforms mean that once the callout starts, it's nearly impossible to contain. One tweet becomes a video, becomes a hashtag, becomes a movement, sometimes warranted, sometimes not. And nuance? Oh, she doesn't live here anymore. The fast-paced visual virality focused design of TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube rewards hot takes, outrage, and drama. A thoughtful essay on ethics gets, 5 views? A 30-second clip of someone getting caught gets 5 million. It's no wonder everyone's walking on eggshells, or just rage posting into the void. This is where things get philosophical. Is cancel culture censorship, or is it just accountability? Conservatives, and let's be honest, a few libertarian YouTubers, argue that cancel culture kills free speech. They say it creates a chilling effect where people are too scared to speak freely, lest they get mobbed by the digital pitchforks. But here's the rebuttal. Freedom of speech isn't freedom from consequences. Saying you're canceled is also speech. Choosing not to platform someone is speech. Choosing not to watch their content, again, speech. Having a Netflix special or an SNL gig isn't a civil right. It's a privilege, one that can absolutely be revoked if public trust evaporates. Of course, there's a gray area. When calling out becomes dogpiling, or when someone's mental health is obliterated by 24/7 outrage cycles, the line between justice and cruelty can blur fast. And that's where we should be paying attention. Not everyone gets actually canceled. Adam Smith lost his job after a viral confrontation. Amy Cooper lost her dog and job after the Central Park incident. These folks weren't famous. They didn't have PR teams or money to bounce back. But YouTubers, celebrities, often they resurface with a rebrand, a podcast, or a Notes app apology. Kevin Hart's back in movies, Louis C.K. won a Grammy, Shane Dawson quietly came back with a new direction, Jeffree Star opened a yak farm. Wait a second. Yeah, a yak farm. He opened a yak farm. So yeah, cancellation is wildly uneven. The powerful often land on their feet. The less privileged, not so much. It's not a moral system. It's a media one. So here's the million-dollar question. Is cancel culture even real? Some say it's a moral panic, a myth created by those used to being above critique. Others say it's very real and very necessary for creating accountability in systems that historically protected the powerful. Both can be true. Cancel culture might not be a coordinated movement, but it is a cultural symptom, a messy one, a reactive one. But it also reflects a deep shift in who gets to speak, who gets heard, and who gets to make mistakes without losing everything. There's also a difference between call-out culture, which assumes growth, and cancel culture, which assumes exile. Some people advocate for calling in, talking privately, creating space for change. It's slower, quieter, and way less satisfying than a viral takedown, but maybe more effective in the long run. So what do we do with all of this? Well, we try to hold space for both accountability and compassion. We recognize when the scales tip from critique to cruelty, and we keep asking who gets to mess up and grow, and who gets buried. So what do you think? Is cancel culture a tool for justice, a tool for control, or just the internet being the internet? Let's chat in the comments. Respectfully, of course. If you found this helpful, give that like button some love, subscribe for more historically rooted hot takes, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next commentary on commentary episode. Thanks for spending your brain cells and your coffee break with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye!